Hello, everyone. Welcome to Back to IBS, a series where we reconnect with our alumni and learn from their professional journeys. I'm your host, Shreya Gupta, and we are honored to welcome Ms. Vasundhara Bahuguna, Co Innovation Consultant, Emerging Tech Consulting and Services at Tata Consultancy Services. Ma'am, it's a pleasure to have you with us here.
Thank you so much, Shreya. It's a pleasure to be back at school.
Right. Let's begin.
Yeah.
Ma'am, how does it feel returning back to IBS, especially now as an alumna?
It feels wonderful. And Shreya, as I was mentioning to the incoming batch, incoming class, that look, today I'm here standing in front of you across the podium and across the hall. But yesterday, I was right there where you are today. Right? And a lot of things that I'm going to share with you today would feel more like a lecture maybe, or very cliched. But I've been through all of these experiences, and I've also heard from somebody, back then from your position, I've heard people say this to us, right? And I know it for sure that this is rather real and still continues to be real. It will be real for the rest of your lives, right? So listen to this with that intent, and it's a pleasure to be here because the energy on campus is entirely different. It's always good to be back. Thanks.
Ma'am, when you look back at your time at IBS, what is that one lesson that has stayed with you throughout your journey?
All right. Being able to ask the right questions and being willing to ask the right questions, right? So ever since we were children, I, for one, remember would ask a lot of why questions, right? Why? Everybody does. All children do. I believe that as MBAs, as people who will shape visions, who will forge paths when none exist, we will need to continue, keep that flame burning inside of us, the flame of why, right? If be it any scenario, any context, any industry, any future that we're a part of, as long as we continue to ask why, we will be able to not only survive, exist, but also to shape and play our part in shaping that, that industry, in that vision.
Right. So curiosity is really the key.
Yeah. Remain curious. Hey, you know what? There's a lot of talk of AI, artificial intelligence today. It's an interesting time to be in, place to be in. But I've just mentioned to our batch as well that AI can take away probably everything from you. But one thing it'll never be able to take what's inimitably you. And that's your ability to connect the dots, ask the right questions, and never suspending your judgment in the face of confidence. So be that person with humility, enough, and be humble enough to ask the right questions, to be flexible enough to bend your views and mend your views as required, and you'll always be good wherever you are, across all walks of life.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, based on your experience in emerging technology and consulting space, what should students start paying more attention from today?
Well, I'd still stick straight to the previous thing that I said, right? Asking the right questions. You may not, or we may not have the right answers, and that's perfectly okay. We're human beings. But to be able to ask the right questions, to get to the right answer, and to get all of us as a collective to the right answer is what really matters. Right? Today, we could talk about artificial intelligence, quantum computing, neuromorphic computing, robotics, what have you, right? But what's really important is, why am I talking about this? What does this technology even mean to me, to my industry? Why? To whom does it matter the most? In what form? Should I be doing something about it? When should I be doing something about it? And what more can happen because of this, right? As long as these questions remain, whatever comes will hopefully be workable, or we could work around those.
Right, ma'am. Now, ma'am, what advice would you give to management students who are starting their journey from today?
Okay, read a lot, discuss, debate, be willing to concede a point to win true appreciation of a subject or the point under discussion. If you do this, you will be able to do two things to my mind. One is to hold your ground when required, but be flexible enough to to win appreciation of the topic, and number two is to be able to connect the dots and be comfortable with the fuzzy and shape paths and forge visions when none exist.
Right, ma'am. Now, before we conclude, we have a quick rapid fire round for you.
All right.
We'll ask you a few short questions,
Uh-huh.
and you have to answer the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right.
A book, a podcast, or a habit that has influenced your professional journey.
Okay, I know this is rapid fire,
Yes.
but there's no one thing that's influenced my professional journey. So I read a lot, and I discuss and debate a lot. I have people back in office, back on the team, seniors at work, and also in personal life back here, who I discuss and debate things with, issues with, and I learn a lot from. Right? I read a lot, I write a lot, be it technology, be it art, what you will, and I let all of that just ferment in my head. Absolutely. That's how the human brain, the mind works, right? It's brilliant. I mean, the mind. I'm not necessarily saying my mind, right? So that's what influences me at work and in life. So there's no one thing that I can talk about. There are books, there's art, there's travel, there's journey, there's sport, there's conversation.
Right. What matters more in the long run? Skills or grades?
Could you please repeat that? Skills or
Grades.
grades? Okay. Skills all the way. Doesn't mean, okay, now this could be controversial. The thing is that grades do matter, but they have a place.
Right.
But I do believe that even if you have great grades, but you don't truly appreciate a discipline or domain and a way of thinking, critical thinking, analytical thinking, grades just don't stand you in good stead, right? Grades alone will never stand you in good stead. So work towards critical thinking, analytical thinking, truly appreciating whatever you're studying, and appreciating things on first principle basis. If you do that, grades will follow. Better roles will follow. Better jobs will follow.
Right. One quality that instantly reflects leadership potential to you.
Inquisitiveness. A person who is not willing to and not afraid to ask questions will go places and ask the right questions.
Right. Ma'am, this brings us to the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. I'm sure that our students will take a lot from this conversation, a lot of learning and inspiration ahead. We wish you continued success in your journey.
Thank you, Shreya. I hope so too, and all the very best to the incoming batch here at IBSG. Thank you for having me here.